corner, hitting the three-pointer to give Merrill their first lead. That lead, however, short-lived after a Hodag miss. Merrill bringing it up, and Casey Drake knocking it away. Doug Rady going for the slam, misses it, but Casey's there to put it back in. Doug had the dunk against Stevens Point, was trying to get another one. Drake would have a hot hand for the Hodags in the first quarter. Off to Steve Meyer, missed three. Look at Casey there, timing the tap in beautifully. But give Merrill credit, the Blue Jays hanging around in the first quarter off the miss. It'll be Peter Fry, their big guy, coming in for the tap in to put the Blue Jays up by 2. Well, the rest of the quarter is Casey's show, as off the inbound pass, Drake putting it in. You'd think teams would start playing Rhinelander for that a little better. A few trips later, it will be Drake, the recipient, off this good hustle by Doug Rady, coming up with a loose ball, gets it to Casey. Beautiful fake as he draws the foul and puts in the shot. Rhinelander's lead grows to 5. Merrill would come out in the first quarter playing zone. It made the Hodags a little sluggish at first, but Rhinelander eventually breaking through. Dalka, his second basket of the quarter. So the Rhinelander lead growing to 8, but on the final play of the quarter, Matt Smith, beautiful spin move and going off glass, hitting the final shot of the first quarter, cutting the Rhinelander lead now to 19-13 as we head to the second. In the second quarter, Merrill continues to hang around, staying close. Garrett Stein, baseline jumper is good, cutting the Hodag lead to only 2. Rhinelander's ensuing possession, the Blue Jays coming up with the steal, and then Jake Vandergeest trying to take it coast to coast, misses the shot, but gets his own rebound as the Hodags fail to box out, and the game now tied at 19. And even though we had a close game, apparently not everybody totally into the game at this point. Now Drake had 9 points in the opening quarter for Rhinelander, but in the second quarter, he and the rest of the team really cooling off as Hodags failed to score a single basket through the first 5 minutes of the second quarter. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays will actually take a 3-point lead when Vandergeest, posting up on Steve Meyer, hits the short turnaround, 24-21 Blue Jays. Well, Rhinelander comes back, they grab a 1-point lead, and then just before half, Mike Corpel nailing the 3-point basket, gives the Hodags a 4-point lead at 28-24 at the intermission. But as we start the third quarter, the Hodags start to pull away a little bit, and Drake would score the first 5 points of the third quarter for the Hodags, giving Rhinelander now a 9-point lead. The third quarter would be Drake's to own. This pull-up jumper extends the Hodag lead now to 12, 40-28. Rhinelander would outscore Merrill 17-6 in that third quarter. And some good passing going on here. And Doug Rady, the recipient, on the other end. It's Ryan Flatto doing his best to keep Merrill in the game with a pretty take here. But the third quarter scoring ends when Kevin Johnson finds Drake at the top of the key, and Casey hits his first 3-point basket of the night, giving him at that point 23 points in the game through 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, Rhinelander just kind of lets loose and has some fun the rest of the way. Benford throwing up the short jumper. Ben had 4 points on the night. Then it's Drake capping his 25-point performance. The baseline drive here, Casey's just been on an offensive roll for this Rhinelander team. Steve Meyer with only a 6-point performance, but a lot of nice assists, and ends up with a pretty basket here as he draws the foul as well. The man who was the quiet giant in all of this for Rhinelander was Doug Rady, as the senior would score not only 11 points, but grabs 14 rebounds, getting a couple of them right here before getting the putback. These games are a lot of fun because in the final minutes you get to see some players you don't always get to see. Kevin Johnson feeding Mark Hanel for the basket. Rhinelander getting a little fancy now with this one. And then the final basket of the night for the Hodags comes right here when Rob Mickelson puts up the short jumper in the lane. And Rhinelander wins this one going away by exploding in the second half to win it 62-47 over the Merrill Blue Jays. Pete Fry leading Merrill with